Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know if I read this one. I believe I read this Isaiah 32, but I think I made it on another video, or I don't know if I even read this one at all. Life is just a big deja vu, and it starts with the kingdom of righteousness. See, a king shall reign in righteousness, and the princes shall rule justly. A man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a shelter from the tempest. And the rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. The eyes of those who see shall not be blinded, and the ears of those who hear shall listen, and the hearts also of hasty shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. The vile person shall no more be called noble, nor a rogue be spoken as a generous. For the vile person will speak nonsense, and his heart will work iniquity. It's like the heart will work in some type of debt, I believe. To practice hypocrisy. Hypocrites. And we all, even ourselves, we are all hypocrites of ourselves. And then everything that we do, it kind of magnetizes or mirrors. I guess that's why it makes people ick, because subconsciously they see a part of themselves that they don't like. I don't know. Perspective is reality. And to utter error against the Lord. You know, it'd be crazy because sometimes you could be right and people are going to call you wrong. And they'll go against you. To keep the hungry unsatisfied, and to withhold a drink from the thirsty. To keep the hungry unsatisfied, and to withhold drink from the thirsty. My interpretation of this is you will kind of keep, or even we as a collective group of people, we keep the hungry and uncomfortable, and we withhold the drink from the thirsty. There'll be some people parched, and we don't even think to give. We could do better. We should do better. We shall do better. And the instruments also of the rogue and evil. That's why you got to pray for no weapon against you should prosper. Nothing. He devises wicked schemes to destroy the poor and lying words, even when the needy speaks right. But the noble devises noble things. Like again, if you're operating in a place of like chaos or negativity, you're gonna receive that, and it's almost like looking at yourself through the mirror. And by noble things he stands. I'll read that again. The instruments also of the rogue are evil. Even people are instruments of whatever spirit, because spirits are a thing. He devises wicked schemes to destroy the poor with lying words. That's almost like selling dreams. Destroy the poor with lying words. Like manipulation. I think that's one of the commandments. Again, I'm not like the most perfect student in this. I'm still learning every day. But I believe like a false narrative or something is like gossip in a sense. I think it's called one of the 10 commandments. I don't know if it's the third one. I'll Google it in a little bit. Then we'll make another video about that. And even when the needy speaks right. So even that the needy people are being polite and working the words, there's a lot of people that want to act like they share their cup, but they don't really share their cup. And that kind of kills them because they're waiting to drink. When I mean thirsty, I'm talking about thirsty for knowledge and wisdom. It's like spiritual food. I mean, metaphorically, yeah, it just speaks on different levels. It's like every time you read this Bible verse, it's going to say something different. It's almost like listening to a song at a different time. And I don't know if that ever happened to you guys. If you're listening to a song and then you're going through some shit, you listen to it again, you're like, wow, this is a different level. And you start like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it is with energy, understanding, or it's, you know, I may even read this again. It may say something else to me. And, you know, so we got to be careful and just pray that no weapons against you shall prosper, because this is the kingdom of righteousness. So that means positive and negative, you could say, let's say. No battery could turn on without the positive and the negative. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like your car broke down because you know, you need to jump in your car and you just put on the positive and the positive turns it on. I mean, if that ever happened, let me know. It's, you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving it perspective. And in that, all the righteousness will be with righteousness. But the only way that would defeat the physics of having this life without the negative and the positive, only God knows. Only the Lord knows. This is his story. We just pawns, and it's better to be a servant of the Lord, because there's a story called the prodigal son. And the prodigal son is a good story because it kind of gives us a gist of our own selves. So I don't read it with the perspective of I don't give it the perspective of just the story for what it is. I try to put myself in every shoe in that story to see how, you know, to be an empathetic person, it gives mercy. And you're like, oh, thank God, God has a mercy to get us through all these things. And sometimes we have to learn from that. We have to learn from that. And make sure that the only way I'm going to gamble with God, Jesus and the Spirit, they never led me the wrong way. I used to have sleep paralysis, and I had sleep paralysis. And I'll tell you a story. I talk about, like, if you're like around here often, you know the story. But I used to have a sleep paralysis, and a sleep paralysis was the most craziest shit in the world, because I was truly paralyzed. Truly, like I couldn't move anything. You know, some people speak in science, and they, you know, they talk about night terror. But through the experience, because there's, you know, you could learn something or you could experience it. They're two different things. So when I experienced it, and it climbed on my shoulder. It was like on my chest. And I remember I was at this dude. This is like back before my kids. Maybe had my daughter, she was probably like 1. And I was going through some things, my heart, because, you know, the separation at the time of, you know, not being around my child the way I wanted to at that timeline. I was fucking broken, bitter, resentful, but, you know, the only one to blame was for me, but I didn't know that back then, you know. So I had like this spirit one time approach me. I was tattooing at this dude's crib, but like it was one day that I didn't have a tattoo to do, and nobody could leave and hang out, and I just didn't like to be alone. And I guess maybe that's what I was running from. And it sat on my chest, and it was dark. It was dark. It was nighttime. I was sleeping on the couch, and I was sleeping on the couch, and the guy spirit just sat on my shoulder, like on my chest, excuse me. And I was like here, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't move for nothing. And then I like that, and I couldn't move, and I was like sleeping, and I know I was awake, but I couldn't move, I couldn't talk. And this is when I realized it was dark, because a demon will always negotiate. He could look, or she could look like they're evil and scary, but honestly, it's the ones that you don't see. So you gotta trust the vibe with it, you know what I'm saying? And it sat on my shoulder, on my chest, and said, I'll give you everything you want in your world. I'll give you back your daughter, everything you want. You just got to kill your brother in the words that he speaks. And I don't know what the hell. Like all the power. It was like a run that you were just breathing for a little bit, and then like you had enough power. And I said, the first thing I said, Jesus, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, as you forgive us for our trespasses. As we forgive. As soon as I started doing that prayer, it ran away. It was almost like somebody hit the switch and the shadow ran. And I started, and I realized how powerful. Like I knew power, like there was power in the prayer, but when you're in those experiences, just pray. And I'm going to influence that in myself. And is, you know, I rebuked them, but I didn't know it was a spiritual experience at the time. So it ran away. I was able to move, and then I realized it clicked, and I was like, okay. But then again, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. We all fall back into sin or whatever. And but a lot of things is like making sure you don't try to experience or have that experience try to put you in a place of fear, because the enemy is like plankton from SpongeBob. He's always gonna put some disguise or some scheme to get through, to get the secret sauce, but the secret sauce is the Holy Spirit. I hope that dropped. I hope that makes sense. But yo, I hope you guys like this video. I'm gonna start doing more of these videos. Let me know what's up. God bless you guys, man. Do Bible study. Bible study is good every day.